Hello, everybody. First of all, thank you to everybody who's showing up here today, because I know I've reached out to a lot of people to invite you to join this amazing podcast, Self Care, where we're talking about the art of letting go. And I have my dear friend. Michelle, you were the very first friend I met here when I moved to Georgia. Did you know that?
I did know that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And do you remember the story where I was in a hotel because I had just moved here. Melissa Hergert had her vision board party, and God's telling me I have to go, and I'm giving God the F bomb. Like,
Yeah.
no, I'm not going.
I'm not going to that stupid vision board party.
I know how to do a vision board. So, and I think it's like really appropriate to talk about these things because we have to kind of let go of our crap, like that stops us from being our best selves, right? In order to get to the next level. And quite frankly, you've been doing my podcast every single month. Well, we had some hiccups where neither one of us had the time, but I mean, the consistency of showing up. And so, what are you going to let go of, and what are you going to keep? Because they don't bleed you, they feed you, right? And thank you, David. I call him Dr. David Meltzer. Thank you, David Meltzer, my coach. And he always says, if it's bleeding you, not feeding you, say goodbye. So that's why I wanted to have this show today, um, about letting go, because really, people, we're in a situation where, uh, look, I'm just saying, if you're going to continue doing the old stuff and expect the same result or a new result, this is the definition of insanity on steroids. The energy that we have in the universe. Would you agree, Michelle, to that?
Oh
Or
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we 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 can be so dissatisfied with our life, with a situation in our life. And if we continue doing the same thing, what are we going to get? We're going to get the same thing, the same result. Um, I will say I'm looking at some flowers right now on my desk, and I'm thinking of the orchid. I have tried to grow orchids several times, and I've listened to people, and but for whatever reason, I am not successful. So guess what? I bought like 3 orchids, and they're not cheap necessarily.
No, they're not.
I've killed every single one. So guess
Me
what?
too.
I stopped buying orchids because I don't have what it takes, at least right now in this energy. I don't have what it takes to grow an orchid. Now, I have plants everywhere else in here, and I have a green thumb, but orchids for whatever reason. So if I continued to buy orchids thinking that this time around it's going to be different, even though I did the same thing because that's what somebody told me to do, guess what? I'm going to get the same result. So I stopped buying orchids because I don't want to waste my money and I don't want to kill any more plants.
Well, and then here's the other thing, what we've been taught is not necessarily true. And I just want to welcome Jenny Dodson Jenkins to the show, and Anita Mima Ortega to the show. And by the way, Anita is going to be on the show next week with her husband, Armando. They are just, you can't use the F bomb on YouTube, but I'm going to say effing amazing. You can fill in the blank. Jenny is so amazing. I'm so grateful for my tribe, honestly. But here's the things that we are in a state of unlearning. Okay. It's not about following what we were taught anymore. It's about uncovering truth. It's about unlearning what we learned because it's not rooted in truth. And hi, Christopher Silva. Hello, Dolly. And so I'm actually going to change this stage a little bit there. That's so much better. I was too much in my own face. Jodi.
Come on, it's your
Tell me
show.
that.
Fine.
I had a woman tell me that my light was too bright. She couldn't work with me. Like, okay, thank you. At least you know. At least you know why.
Well,
And
we're
so,
not for everyone.
so I'm not even offended. Um, you know, sometimes I'm just here to send a message. But the point is that, you know, and Anita says, some here with the orchids, I let them go too. Yeah. So we're
Oh
talking
yeah.
about planting.
Mm.
So we're planting seeds all the time, right? Whether it's actually in the garden or with people to help them grow. And so, and I'm so glad you brought up the orchid because, you know, my garden didn't grow. Okay. And they were dumping poison on my garden from the airways. So it just wasn't going to grow. I mean, there's just no way. Like, I'm like, okay, don't try to, fight a reality that you can't play with. But in the front of the house where they weren't dumping, I don't know how that's possible, but somehow, and the butterfly bushes were growing like crazy. Okay. And I brought in a ton of butterflies. And when you research how to take care of butterfly bushes, they say you're supposed to snip it and trim it back. And so my thought process, Michele, and this is kind of the stage for the show about letting go of old belief systems and how we're doing things, is I decided to look up, why do we clip a plant to help it grow? Because they were probably here before we were, and who was clipping it before? Right? Because that's always my question. Who was doing it before the dumb humans came in? Okay.
Right.
So now I can't see myself. So I'm just gonna like put this out there. StreamYard changed part of its formatting, and it's just kind of weird up here. So I please send grace as I try to figure out how to navigate. Hi, Charles Key. How are you, Dolly? So so I looked up why we clip the buds on butterfly bushes. It's so they don't become invasive and take over the area. But I'm like, I want you to take over the area.
Yeah.
So, what I'm going to pose, I'm going to ask you to present your questions, okay, here, because we got some really great people here today. What is it that you think you need to let go of? Okay. Why do you think you need to let go of? Is something in your head going, this doesn't sit right? Present it, and Michele, I didn't ask you, but maybe we'll just channel, what that could look like. Because look, Pete, we have an opportunity. Hi, my sweet sister Chris. We have an opportunity that's so huge. I have a fire in my belly right now. I'm just going to tell you that it's about being unstoppable. And so, what I want to do before as we're waiting for these questions come in, so Christopher, Charles, Jenny, Anita, Chris, please give us questions that you would like us to think about belief systems, right? Or what we can let go of. Is it really true, right? Should we really be doing things this way? Whatever comes up for you, a question that you have, please post it in the comments. And then I'm just going to have Michele share how she serves, because we always wait till the end. And I want to really get people understanding how we serve. And then you can also cater those questions to us here. What do you think, Michele? I just
Sure.
kind of, okay.
Yeah.
You want to tell people how you serve here?
Like, yeah. And I just realized that I have butterfly earrings on.
You do?
They're all butterflies.
Oh my God, I love it.
You're talking about butterfly bushes.
Yeah.
Anyway, serendipity.
Yeah,
okay,
I have butterflies just all over the house lately. It's just, I'm like, because I'm letting those butterfly bushes go. Yeah.
Yeah. We had one land at our table at lunch yesterday. We were sitting outside and we had one land on our table and just sit there for a minute. And we were just mesmerized. Anyway. Okay, I digress. So I am Michele, the Rockstar Coach. And what I do mainly is I work with women who feel like they there must be something more. They may have a full career, they may have a family, they may be successful. They on the outside, it looks like they've got everything together, right? Maybe it doesn't look like they have everything together, but you get the picture. But they wake up just feeling like there must be something more. What is my purpose? What is this all for? I don't understand why I'm here. What am I supposed to be doing? Why is this not enough? Why do I not feel fulfilled? And so I work with, limiting beliefs. I work with mindset. I also there's another side of that, being that I am an intuitive. I have what's called Wisdom Circle. And Jodi, you were a part of that.
Amazing.
And so it's a business, it's a women, female entrepreneur program. It's a mastermind. And, but it has the spiritual slant to it. And so we work on your business, but we also work on mindset. We work on, and then I receive messages for you individually for your business. So it's a group coaching or mastermind program, but you do get individual attention as well. And so in the intuitive side, I give readings, whether it's aura readings, Akashic records readings, or you can see some of my cards here. I love the intuitive card readings as well. And really, a lot of that is coming with those same questions. What is my purpose? What am I doing here? My relationship, what's going on with my love life? What's going on in family? Some health things may come up, right? And all of these things are just for your information. They are not to scare you. They are for your information to then go forward and make changes where you would like to make changes. And that's really what my business is all about: presenting you with the information, giving you the tools, and then allowing you to make the decision on whether to change and what to change if you'd like to.
Yeah, amazing, right? And so, and for me, it's similar, but I do a little differently. And so, like Michele, I am an intuitive. And so what we do is we're accessing the subconscious mind, the unconscious mind, spirit, all those things. But I'm also board certified in neuro-linguistic programming as a master practitioner. And then I have these cool tools that I use, and some need to be used in person, or, then the other tools I can use, via telehealth. And so I help people reframe their thinking, right? And things like, like Michele was saying, self-limiting beliefs, negative self-talk, overworking, people pleasing, need for external validation, comparing yourself to other people, having a scarcity mindset, dealing with control issues, playing small, things like that, and codependency. And so if we can help people, get connected to source. The last client I just had, she's so connected to source. We did a 90-day program, and she's so connected to source. So now we can just be friends, right? So, I mean, not that we weren't friends anyway, but you understand, like she's rooted, and so we do have questions here. And I would just, before we take the questions, I want to ask you just to, I want to show you something. It's been a minute since we've been on the podcast, and somebody did a video for me, and it's only 2 minutes long. And it was the Alliance of Natural Health. I was on their podcast. I was doing other podcasts. That's why I couldn't do my podcast. And plus I didn't have any energy left when I was done. And so I think I'm going to try to show the video if I know how to. Oh, here it is. So I think you just do a share screen. And that's so funny that here it goes. So I think this is it. Yeah.
I was very independent as a child. At the young age of 7, I was an equestrian, and
So this is my story, everybody. This is why I'm showing it. I forgot to give the intro. So this is why I do what I do. Go ahead.
Horses, and my horse Jarful dug a hole of the front door of the stall. And when I walked out, my cowboy boot got caught and I went face down and hit the front of my brain. We saw the impact, which was emotional dysregulation. And so I spent my lifetime understanding emotions, behaviors. I became very observant. Why are people feeling the way that they feel? And I was very intuitive. I understood natural health. I was a bodybuilder. I was benching 185. But it wasn't until I was 50 years old that I really understood really innately who I was, because I had all these signals from childhood up until that time that I, of course, like everybody else, ignored. Shortly after both parents had passed 18 months apart, I went on disability. I was sleeping on the couch, couldn't move. I was sedentary. I ended up with 54 chronic conditions at the end of the game. And they started coming in and being my guides. It's your innate ability, it's your divine right to hear God, spirit, source energy, Jesus. You choose. Your higher power is love. Everything's rooted in love. I use plant and energy-based healing, from poisonous pills to plants and prayers, because that's what we all have to do if we want to live our best life. We're here to reframe mental health for the world. If you have a diagnosis or label as bipolar, schizophrenia, narcissistic, Alzheimer's, what I'm here to tell you is all those things are just labels that the Western Medical Club uses to create a revenue stream. I'm here to give you another option. We help that dark energy find the light. And I created this concept called the place of peace. It's a quick and easy way to bring yourself back into balance using nature's goodness, using God's goodness, divine's goodness, because life is a lesson. When we can become self-aware about what it is that we're doing, how we're being perceived, life becomes beautiful. The single most important thing is forgiving yourself and forgiving others, because they are doing the best they can. You're doing the best you can at any point in time. We're all on the journey.
All right, now to see how to get it off the screen. There we go.
Stop share. That's a beautiful video, Jodi.
Yeah, so I'm still crying about it. I think I cried for 10 days before I could upload it. Because here's the thing, people. I don't remember saying any of it. I channeled it. And so it became very apparent to me how God is working through me. And then I just kept on listening to it because it's everything I feel. I just don't remember saying these things. And I don't have a brain health issue. I'm a channel. Right. So anyways, let's go to the questions and let's take a look. So Charles Key, I'm going to list them all and then we can decide which ones we're going to talk about. Okay. Charles Key says he needs to let go of outcomes. Jenny Dotson Jenkins, letting go of what people think of me. Do you agree to let go of what other people think of me? She loves your butterfly earrings. Rock Mama rocks the world. Leslie Harris, I love your handle. You're so awesome. She says there's some belief. So Leslie used to work with my brother, Stephen, my doctor brother, Stephen. That's how far we go back. She says, there's some belief I have about not being enough or deserving. I can't get my career restarted and keep attracting to men who are emotionally unavailable. Ooh, we can all talk about that too. Anita is saying, I've gone through some incredible growth in the last few months, shadow work, etc. Good job. And I feel my family, including my kids, have been resisting me and my hubby, and I don't know how to handle it. And Christopher, so this is all good because I know you and I both have dealt with all this. And then Christopher says he needs to let go of shame. Okay, let's take it home. Michele, which one do you want to do first, sweetheart?
I'm really drawn to Christopher, the shame.
I am too.
And thank you, Christopher, for being vulnerable, because shame is really, really ugly. and it can stop us from doing and being who we truly are meant to be in this world. Letting go of shame is not easy because there's so many things rooted in that. And there is some of the other things in there, like what people think of me, right? Because sometimes it can be because of something we've done or that we haven't done, and we feel shame around it. Sometimes we think, oh, this person or these people are going to think XYZ, and I'm ashamed of that because of that. And there's so much more to it, but I'm going to give you a really basic way to look at it. There is no one in this world that has never done anything, quote, wrong in their life. We all have things that we wish we didn't do. We all have things we wish we did do. We all have things that we are hopefully working on to improve within ourselves. And when we judge ourselves to a point where we become shameful, we are telling the world that we have nothing good to give. And if that were true, we wouldn't still be here. Because it is my true belief that if we are here on this planet, then we have a purpose to be here. And the purpose is not to judge ourselves and to shame ourselves for the past. Even if it's something that you are currently working through. To cover yourself in shame means that you're not then allowing yourself to heal fully. And if you don't allow yourself to heal fully, then you will continue in that cycle. And I know you probably know these things. And I know the question is, how do I let go of that? It's the realization that everything we experience in our life, there is a purpose for it. We might not have planned it, but there is a purpose for it. And so often what I have seen is that when people can rise above shame, they can use their story to help others. And even if one other person can benefit from your hurt, your experience, your heartache, your shame, I'm not going to say it was worth it. I'm not going to say that. But what I am going to say is you can know that it is being used for good. There is a lot of mindset work that you can do on it. There's a lot of energy work that you can do with this. And I'm just seeing Jenny saying, forgive. Yes. Yes. Forgiving yourself. Shame is a really, really hard one. And forgiving in shame is difficult as well. Sometimes what I've experienced is when people feel shame, it's much easier for them to forgive someone else than it is to forgive themselves. And so a lot of times it is a process. It is an everyday process until you start feeling some relief. And little by little, the forgiveness and the joy starts coming in. And the realization that, you know what, I am meant for something bigger. Just like what I said, when you wake up every day and think, what's this all for? There is a reason. And if you can put your eye on that instead of what you have done or been through, then you can turn that into purpose, and purpose is gold. And when you can turn it into gold, then you can help yourself and others and put that energy out into the world, because the world needs you, Christopher. The world needs you.
Yeah. And so, first of all, let me just repeat something you said. You can take shame and turn it into purpose. That's golden. right? It's brilliant. And, you know, I want to tell people what I'm doing because my whole life was filled with shame. And, you know, Christopher and I share the same birthday. It's
Oh.
not the same year, but he's younger. Um, so, and a lot of people who are here today, I think it's beautiful who's here today because, you know, a lot of these people have been with me for many years. Um, oh, she says, great book title, Purpose is Gold. Yeah, right. Michelle, there's your book title, honey.
I already have
Oh, yeah, okay, there you go. Um,
one.
so
Maybe that's the next
in my,
one.
in my video, I said that I'm reframing mental health for the world, and I'm actually working. We haven't started the process yet, but in communication with politicians here in Georgia, and we are changing how mental health is diagnosed. Meet people. So this is why, and I'm addressing the shame. Okay. So I lived in this shame, the stigma of having a mental health issue. Didn't tell people I had bipolar disorder. They told me I had schizophrenia. They took me from being a bodybuilder, which I don't think you can see on this, but you know, people know what a bodybuilder looks like. Doesn't matter. To being 235 pounds, nearly dead, and really hiding, like not playing full out in life, right? And now I want to take you back to the insurance companies. So, speaking to a woman who's going to have me, I'm going to be a speaker at one of her events next month, I guess it is. And what she said to me was she went from a self pay environment to an insurance pay environment as a mental health practitioner. And in the first visit, they have to assign a diagnosis so they can get paid by the insurance companies, which is crazy. They thought I was crazy. I'm sorry, y'all, crazy. Um, there are four things that need to happen at minimum prior to a diagnosis for any mental health disorder. Right? One, there's a woman here in Georgia. She tests for parasites. They do well. It's a live blood microscopy. Test for parasites. Okay, that a parasite will mess with your emotions in a way that's unrecognizable. Okay. Number two, uh, check for food sensitivities and candida. Okay. So that's two and three. Number four, in that same test, which I'm now offering all of this, by the way, is you need to know if you're a good methylator, which I completely ignored. So I found out in 2019 or 18, 2016, sorry. So 9 years ago, that I was a bad methylator. And that will wreak havoc with your emotions. And everyone's probably going, what the F is a methylator, right?
Yes, I was
Right.
about to ask that.
Right. So what the F is a methylator? So here's the thing, your neurotransmitters, it's a gene sequence, and your neurotransmitters um, carry the hormones, right, to the organ tissues and cells in your body. And if you're missing one of those genes, you are a bad methylator and it presents as a mental health issue. Okay. Now, you don't need drugs for this. There's a supplement and it takes care of it right away. I mean, really? Like, I'm going to blow the off of the pharmaceutical companies because it's really a revenue stream. So if you're having depression and you're having these thoughts, or you're having thoughts of shame and the fact that you're not good enough, this is your hormones talking to you. Hey, I can't get the signal from my brain to the rest of your body. And it's a simple fix, but you got to do the test. So and the test is not expensive. None of this is expensive. And guess what? You don't have to be tethered to anything. So it's the art of letting go. Let me tie it back. The art of letting go of the old way of healing. The art of letting go of the way you pursue your own health issues. Because this is what we're all talking about. You guys said, I need to let go of shame. Leslie is saying, I have this, a belief system about not being enough or deserving. And the hormones are a big deal in playing on how we feel. And then when we are exposed to, and let me tie this for you, stay with me, okay? Because this is going to be kind of a little out there. But so you have this hormone dysfunction, okay? And then you have an exposure to a toxin. And now we can measure that it's actually breaking the biofield. And I know everybody on who's here that is listening right now, I know you guys, and I know you understand the biofield, and you may or may not understand this. So you get exposed to the toxin, which could be a toxic chemical, toxic thought, okay, or a trauma, right? And it breaks open the biofield, which we can now measure, and any energy form can come in. And they're inserting what I call thought viruses, things that don't serve you. I'm going to let that sit. Who's got questions about that? Because that's a big nut to crack. That when you understand everything that we're experiencing is really not so much genetics as it is epigenetics. The only one that's really genetic that we're talking about is that gene sequence, whether or not you're a good methylator, and that's an easy fix. You don't even have to express depression. You got a question for me, Michele? Because I kind of feel it. No? So the other thing is, I have shared with most of you, not all of you, the All Clear protocol. And the All Clear protocol is on my website for free. Okay. And if you want to just text me at 847-738-0242, I'll do this so it's a little smaller so y'all can see it. Text me and I'll send you the link so you can get the All Clear protocol. That allows you, with ease and grace, to remove the frequency of that thought. And then you still need to work with someone or yourself, like I'm not here to tell you who to work with, to remove the behavior, the pattern. So there's two patterns. One is a pattern that's in the form of a frequency or thought form. And then after that, you have the freedom to choose because you're no longer tethered to the frequency. Does that make sense? Michele? Oh, yeah. Does that make sense to you? I mean, do you agree? Because so if once you get rid of the frequency, then you can work on the behavior. Don't you agree? Or do you see it differently? You can see it differently, by the way.
There's just different ways. There's so many different ways. And I think what I will say too is sometimes, and I love what you said. And I also know that there are sometimes people out there that want an easy button. And
it's easy. No,
it's not an easy button. When people come to me for energy healing, they think that I'm just going to wipe it out and they're going to be free of whatever it is. It's like, no, you then, like you said, you have the choice. You have to, there's work involved. It's not just push the button and then, oh, okay, I can just now choose to do something different. Well, yes, but you have to change the pattern. It doesn't just wipe clean. You have to change the pattern because if you don't, it will come right back. It's not gone because the pattern is in your brain because it's a habit. It's just like, what do you do first thing when you wake up in the morning? I bet most of us do the same thing every day when we wake up in the morning, whatever it is. Grab for your phone, go to the bathroom, brush your teeth, feed the dog, whatever it is. I bet it's about the same thing every single day. It's a habit. We can certainly break that pattern. We can certainly break that habit. Without the tools to do so, it is more difficult. So it's about having the tools and also erasing the frequency that is so familiar to us. In using the tools to break that, it then erases the frequency that continues to be the pattern.
So exactly, because we have to rewire the subconscious mind, right?
Yes.
And we have to
Yes.
let go of so here's the big thing. If you want change, it's really about letting go of how you do this, because if how you let go really works, you wouldn't be here like listening to how to let go.
Right.
So it ain't working. And look, I'm going to tell you, I'm just going to get real. Um, 2 years ago, last week, Michele knows I was energetically attacked and I had sores all over my legs. Okay. Now, I'm also here to tell you that was my frequency that brought it into my field. Okay. It was my thought form about not being good enough, not being lovable. And here's a big one. And Leslie Harris, I'm hearing you need to hear this. Absorbing people, and Chris, I was absorbing people's hate and shame. And it showed up as sores all over my body. And it literally took 2 years, almost to the day, to get rid of it. 2 years of unwinding all the layers where I was unconsciously absorbing people's opinions of me as if they were real and had any validity, and they don't. And, you know, one of the notes I made when you were speaking, Michele, is that shame, look, when we shame ourselves, we're invalidating someone else's choice of ourselves. So if I'm sitting there talking to Michele and I'm telling her, cancel in advance, God, that I'm not good enough, that I can't do this, I'm invalidating Michele's choice to be my friend and to be my co-host on the podcast. Now, that doesn't do anything good for her either. So maybe, perhaps, look at how when you beat yourself up, you're invalidating someone else's choice of you, but you're perfect as you are. And sometimes we are just lessons for other people so that they can learn what to do and also what not to do. Right? Someone's got a very big post here. Okay. So Anita says 100%. Jenny says, I was on the call list if our office ever got broken into. I listened to a podcast about leaving my phone in the other room. I did it, and the first day I did it, we had an office break-in. And the second person on the call list, because I was sleeping soundly, was a dear friend who just had a baby. He had to go down to the office only to find out that the back door was left ajar and blew open. Needless to say, leaving my phone in another room became very hard for me to do. Okay. Well, there are police officers for that, because if you're sleeping with the phone by your head, that's also clumping the red blood cells by your brain. And so it's about what Michele and I were talking about before the show started, about doing what's good for us. And I'm going to let Michele in a second here take the lead on this. I want to just talk a little bit about the science. So when we're sleeping, it's when the brain has a chance to detox. And so all those toxins come out and through what's called the vagus nerve. And it's the longest nerve we have in our body, and it drains out all those toxins. Okay. And so every time you're putting a phone by your head, okay, or putting AirPods, like the Bluetooth, you're actually clumping those red blood cells, and you get what's called toxic brain and toxic vagus nerve. And so then you can't flush out these toxins, and it becomes this really, and I mean, look, guys, I had toxic brain. You saw the picture. It didn't end well for me until I chose differently. So, but what I want to talk about, so that's the science. I really want Michele to talk about how important it is to choose ourselves first. Go for it, girlfriend.
Well, I'm going to go about this in a couple of different ways, Jenny.
You always do. Go for it. Yeah, I love it.
First, if I'm gonna do the logical part first, okay?
Mm-hmm.
If we have agreed to be the first person on the call list, then that's a responsibility that we've taken on, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, what I would do is put the phone in the other room or whatever, but turn it up so that you make sure that you are alerted, right? Okay. Second part of that is, and this is a hard part, not feeling bad because somebody else had to take that. There's a number 2 on the list for a reason. Number 2 on the list because if number 1 is not available for whatever reason, there's a number 2. So the number 2 agreed to that as well. And okay, so they just had a baby. Okay, well, you were sleeping quite soundly. Okay. Number 3, and this is the one that might be a little more out there for some people. You may have actually manifested that break-in because what I'm seeing is you were worried about it.
Mm-hmm.
You were already thinking, oh my gosh, I've never left my phone in the other room before. And oh my gosh, if I do this, what's going to happen? So you had all of these thoughts of what was going to happen. And guess what happened? Exactly what you focused on. The office got broken into. So our fear, we are manifestors. We manifest all the time. We might not even be aware of it. We might not be conscious of our manifestations, but everything that we're experiencing, we manifested. Some consciously, some unconsciously. And I know this, we can go way deep into this and people can really fight me on this.
These people are not going to fight you on this.
And that's okay if they did.
Yeah.
But
we'll get it.
But because you were scared of that happening, it happened. So leave your phone in the other room. Just don't worry about it. And it'll be fine.
Right. And manifest like, whatever it is that you want to manifest. I do this 369 manifestation. We'll have to do a show on it sometime, but writing down what you're wanting to achieve 3 times a day, right? And there's more to it, but it's a Tesla thing, right? Is that?
Yeah.
So Fagala, you gonna come over here and sit with mommy? She's like, I'm meditating, mommy. Did you hear her? Because Jenny Jenkins was looking for you. Yeah. So Chris says, set the intention to hear it all day.
Yeah.
We are surrounded by such wise people. So Anita, and Anita, you're gonna have to explain Nima to me sometime soon. Thank you, Michele. I've been practicing exactly that, not worrying and manifesting the positive.
Good. Yes, good.
And so, how we do what Anita's saying is we slow down. We start to recognize our thoughts and our feelings, recognize what's in your heart space. And if you're not feeling love, what are you feeling? Do you need it? And then ask God to carry it for you. That's just the start. Right? Don't you agree, Michele? I mean, I'm sure you've got more, Well,
yeah, I mean, recognizing what it is, slowing down, first of all, because worrying usually is, at least for me, if I'm worrying, I'm usually feeling frantic or chaotic or something like that. If we do slow down, we can become clearer. So first off, take 5 deep breaths. That will help calm your nervous system. When your nervous system is calm, you can be more clear-minded, clear-headed. And then you can think, and like Jodi said, ask yourself, what am I feeling? What am I thinking? Is this true? If it's not true, Where's it coming from? Do I need it? Is it just trying to protect me? A lot of times it is, but we can say, thank you. I'm good. I'm good. I don't need protected. And then we can choose differently. So certainly being aware of our thoughts and our feelings, because there's a lot of different ways to look at manifesting, and I teach a lot of different ways, but for the most part, the simplest way that I can say it is, it's not just about focusing on what you want. You have to feel what it is that you want, because you can tell the universe, I want, like somebody said, I want to attract, I think it was Leslie, I want to attract the right partner. Mm-hmm. Okay. So you can think that all day long, but if you're feeling in your heart or in your body, it's not going to happen. Look at me. I don't look the way I want to look. I'm feeling bad about myself physically. I'm feeling bad about myself mentally, whatever. You're not going to attract the kind of partner that you're actually looking for. So it's more than just visualizing. It's holistic. It's all of it together. So the feelings do go along with it.
So can I do a yes and to that?
Yeah.
So, as you know, a lot of this, what happened for my ascension was through the Western Medical Club, and the Western Medical Club is what I call hospitals and Western doctors. And secretly, in my subconscious mind, I really envisioned like holistic health at a hospital, like where they allowed for, using essential oils to, get you into the parasympathetic state, right? And you've never really heard me say that, have you?
No, never.
But it was in my heart. And it was in my subconscious mind. And I met somebody Saturday night who's bringing me in potentially to a major hospital here in Georgia to teach, about how do you use lights or photobiomodulation to get you into a parasympathetic state, using like a torch, which I don't have here, but she's like, oh, that's not my wheelhouse. And I basically built this in the hospital. I'm like, okay, thank you. So why am I telling you this? Because I want to validate what Michele is saying. Your brain is really powerful. Your heart's more powerful. Okay. And so your heart has to drive the brain. And so if you find that your brain is taking over, pause, get back into your heart space, be love, ask God to show you what's true, right? And then lead with love. And look, there's a girl over there on the perch, Vagala. She's been telling me this since 2018. It's taking me a while. So give yourself grace as you go through the process. I mean, I really had to rewire my brain. So we've got comments. Chris says, words are empty. Oh my God, she's so right. This is what makes my BS meter go off. She says words are empty without feeling behind them when manifesting. But it's also, I want to do it yes and to that, Chris. Words are empty without feeling behind them when you're connecting to people in your life. And if you can't share your heart with them, like give them love while you're speaking, and I don't mean like kiss them. You don't have to tongue them or anything.
Oh my. Thank you for that.
Thank you for that.
There's only one person I want to do that to.
Right. I just want to be clear. So what I'm saying is you can send the energy of love. And in the midst of catching yourself having a reaction, pause. Oh, let me send love. That's not really the reaction I mean. It's just your own stupid trigger. And we're a mirror for everybody. So if you're getting triggered, you have to look at what's going on for you, right?
Mhm.
And Jenny says, that is awesome, Jodi. Congrats. Thank you, Jenny. And, and I can't have this show. I think this is maybe one of the first shows that Jenny's been on. I don't really remember. Forgive me if I'm incorrect. But Jenny Dodson gave me my first writing assignment for Corporate Wellness Magazine back in 2000. I want to say 15 or 16. So she's a special friend for me. So yeah, she's an amazing soul. So yeah, I think it was 2016 because I just published the book. So the first book. So, what else do you want to share, Michele?
I would say, since the topic is letting go, like you said, Jodi, give yourself grace, because letting go is a process. It most of the time is not an instantaneous thing. It can be, but I will say, usually when it feels like it was instantaneous, it's been because we've been doing the work for a while, maybe not consciously, but we've been preparing to let go, right, for a long time. Let's just take the example of a relationship, okay? Whether this be a friendship, a romantic relationship, a family relationship, whatever it may be. If that is something that we are being called to let go, then it is typically not a one day you wake up and just say, bye. You might do that. That might be the end result, but there's been years probably, but even if it's not years, there's been an amount of time that you have been thinking, either this doesn't make me happy, this is toxic. You're putting a list together, even if you're not conscious of it. You're putting a list together of the reasons why it is not good for you to stay. And this could be a job, right? This could be a job that you are leaving. You don't just wake up one day, if you are truly happy in the position or the job that you're in. Most of the time, people don't just wake up and go, oh, I think I'm going to quit my job today. I really don't have a reason, but I think I'm just going to quit my job today. Same thing with a relationship. Most people don't wake up and go, oh, I think I'm just going to, leave my family behind today. They can fend for themselves. No, we come to this because we've gone through a process. So give yourself grace when you are attempting to let go of something, whether it's in here or in the material world, the physical world, because it may be something that you've known for a long time that needs to happen, but it doesn't necessarily mean that in one day you're going to do it and you're going to feel great about it. Because letting go of things, even if it's the right thing, doesn't mean you're going to feel peaceful. You might feel peaceful, but you might not either. It might really, really hurt. It might really put you in a place where you're struggling for a while. It doesn't necessarily mean that it was the wrong decision, though. So give yourself grace and talk to somebody. It doesn't have to be, a coach or a mentor. It can be a friend. It can be someone that you trust, to really look at it, not a yes person. Don't go to someone that is just going to be on your side just because, right? If it's a friend, make sure they're the kind of friend that's going to speak truth. Because we all probably have those friends that will be like, yeah, girl, you showed them or whatever. And
right, really, you have those friends. I don't have any of those friends.
I've had those friends. I have them on the surface, but I don't go to them because I don't want that. I want truth. So make sure that the person that you're going to will speak truth, because that is truly what you need. And they will be able to say, look, I know it's hard right now. You did the right thing. You're going through the process of healing the hurt, or, whatever it is. So all that to say, give yourself grace going through the process.
All day. And so, if you need help with any of this, both Michele and I are available. The information is here. It's been scrolling. I did pull a card for the collective on the surrender deck, which says it works. It says the mechanism of surrender is simple and the truth is self-evident. And on the other side, it says it works during daily life. There is no dogma or belief system. You verify everything for yourself, so you cannot be misled. That kind of ties into the convincer model for NLP. But how many, what does it take to get you convinced? Look, this has been an amazing show. And the girls are all tired. They've been quiet this entire time. So September 2nd, Michele and I are going to talk about this again. We're going to go do even a deeper dive. You got more questions. You got things that are coming up. Bring them to the show. Okay. We're going to talk about the art of letting go, because this is, there are, and we're not going to talk just about energy. We're, letting go is also, it's a physical thing. So it's in your cells. I hear you. Okay. September 7th, September 7th, I'm being interviewed by my church at Unity North Atlanta. If you cannot make it in person, they live stream. Tinkerbell, so I'll share a link with that shortly. My question to Tinkerbell is, what else you got for me? Because she's still squawking. Is there something you want to share? Do you hear what she's saying or asking for? Let me just hear. It's something for Leslie Harris relative to my brother Stephen. I don't know what it is. So Leslie used to work in his office in Chicago. Leslie, we'll connect after the show. Anything you want to share where because you also, you're a rock star. So you've got some big stuff coming up. Do you want to share where people in Georgia want to come see you?
Yeah. So every weekend I'm out and about with Band X, but there's a couple of other things that I'm involved in right now too. Let me see, August 27th in Avondale Estates, I am singing with two members of Looking Glass, which do you remember the song Brandy? You're a fine girl. What a good wife you would be. Such a fine girl. That song. They did that song. So I'm singing for a songwriters night. They're bringing two of the members in, and so I'm getting the opportunity to sing with them. That's going to be really fun. And then the 20th of September at Roaring Social in Alpharetta, I am one of the members of kind of a super group that was put together here in the Atlanta area. Just some members of some popular show bands in our area. And we put together a show that is so freaking cool. We're doing
again, and where is it at, please?
September 20th at Roaring Social. If there are tickets left, get them now, because it will be sold out if it is not already. But it's going to be really cool. I'm just so honored to be included as the only female, by the way. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but it is really fun to be included with this group of amazing musicians. And we're singing some really cool songs that everybody's going to enjoy. And we have some special guests coming out too. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
And her husband is doing like some Elton John things, right? Like her or Billy Joel.
So he's in a band called Billy and the Jets. He's a fantastic sax player, and he's all over the place as well. So if you can't find Band X or you just like Billy Joel and Elton John, go check them out because they're incredible. And they're not just going around Georgia playing shows for the public. So usually when I travel with my band, it's not public. I only do public stuff around town, but he is doing a lot of public stuff elsewhere. So Billy and the Jets, check them out on Facebook and see if they're coming somewhere near you because you want to see them if they are.
And when those two are together, I haven't seen them on stage really together. I've seen them on pictures on stage. That's a whole nother definition of sexy. Man.
I think so, yes.
So
we have a lot of fun together.
I'm just not going to go down that route.
We have a lot of fun on stage together.
So join us because our schedule, Michelle's schedule and my schedule kind of got off. So typically Michelle's the first Tuesday of the month. So we're going to reset that 9-2. I assume we're doing 3 o'clock. Maybe not. Who knows? Maybe we'll do 1 o'clock again. It kind of feels good to me. And I love you all. And I'm so grateful that you showed up. So, Michele, you're a blessing in my life. I love you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.